Hello, everyone, and welcome to Crown Knowledge Radio. I am Dordana Rathia, and welcome to the Crown. Welcome to Crown Knowledge Radio. I want to pull this down because I don't want y'all to think that I'm doing something freaky. My little off the shoulder thing is way off the shoulder. Um, yeah, so welcome to Crown Knowledge Radio. I'm Dordana, and I'm laughing because my friends is outside playing with my computer. It's crazy, as Dave Chappelle would say. But at the moment, you are listening to Crown Knowledge Radio, and oh, y'all, I'm trying to do TikTok. I'm trying to do Crown Knowledge. Trying to figure out social media, but I'm actually having a ball, having a good time. Welcome to Crown Knowledge Radio. Welcome to 2025. Welcome to the 2025 vibes here at Crown Knowledge Radio. I coined the phrase 2020 vibes. So I don't know if y'all might not like it anyway because it might not make sense, but 2025 vibes, high vibes in 2025. Let's get it. Let's get some of that. Welcome to Crown Knowledge Radio. I hope you guys are doing well on the second day of the new year. A lot going on. It doesn't matter where you are currently in this current energy that we're going through on the planet, but they said keep it moving, so I had to make adjustments. I had to do some things that I probably really didn't want to do and rearrange some things that took me quite a while to rearrange. And as you can see, I'm still working on a lot of stuff, but we'll get it together. I'm not sure visually where I want to go with what what I'm vibing with, but I want my information to be clear. And so that's the thing that I'm working on right now. So welcome to Crown Knowledge Radio. If you want to come over to the chat room, it's open right now. Right now I'm just working the chat. If you're listening to the show live, you just happen to catch me on doing my live show tonight, Hidden in Dark Corners, which I will continue to do. I started doing on Blog Talk Radio. If you don't know what Blog Talk Radio is, that's because I'm an old head. I'm a vet. But my hair's not really gray. This is not what's happening right here. This is not what's going on right here. But I've started back in 2012 with Crown Knowledge Radio, and myself and the guy Rashad, and we did this little show called Crown Knowledge, and it was just he and I trying to feel our way through some type of spiritual ascension that I happened to be going through, and he had to happen to already be in at the time. So here we are, trying to make this work, and here we are on the other side of it. Woo! From double moons to solar flares to tsunamis to earthquakes to setting the country on fire. What have we not seen yet? We're all the way up to UAPs, UFOs, them things, them people, them our cousins. I don't know. I'm not gonna get into that. That's not my lane. You may hear me mention it from time to time, but that is not my lane. Do not come for me with that because I don't know. I have my own personal spiritual um, understanding of what this game called life is, and you'll hear a lot of that. If you follow this show, you'll hear a lot of it. If you want to hear it in advance and decide whether or not Crown Knowledge is for you, then you can check out the archive shows. The information over there, you can find archive shows that you can pull up and play for free live on a platform called Spreaker. Spreaker is SPR. Eaker. Spreaker.com, and you can go over there and listen to the show. My archive shows is all of the shows that I've done all the way back to 2011, I believe, 2012. And I, myself and the God Rashad and a whole bunch of other guests from show to show. It just depends on the show that you're listening to. And sometimes it's just us on there going through our understanding of what the spiritual ascension means and what it is. And here we are, from 2011 to 2025. Here we are with this information that, we're trying to make sense of it, all of us. We're all trying to make sense of it. We're all trying to make sense of, what's happening. It's clearly something happening. You would have to be living under a rock in a sound deprivation tank, desensitized completely, to not know that something is happening. We don't know exactly what it is right now. Everybody has their own. I mean, even the experts of the experts, even the highest level of spiritual experts, even the highest level of scientists. I don't think anybody ever really gets it right, because I don't think, and again, if you listen to my shows, you'll hear me say a lot, I don't think that God is something that you can fully understand. I don't think we're supposed to. Now, if you want to study God, that's theology. You can study, if that's what look into it, have your own ideas and revelations about what you think God is. But I don't think we're supposed to fully understand as a group. But I think you do get what God is as an individual, if that's the path that you're on. And I think that's where this ascension comes in. I think that's what this ascension is all about. Us finding God individually. If that's your lane, if that's what you want to do. But if you can put it in perspective, you can put it in category, you can put it in age group, you can put it male, female, you can put it up, down, you can put it in, out, heaven and hell, the Holy Bible, the whole 9 yards, the Quran, the Torah. You can do the whole 9 yards. But I personally, Donna, this is what I think. And I think that's a personal journey. I don't believe that there's anybody on the planet. Now, I don't know about these individuals that just got here. Well, they didn't just get here. They've been here. Let's be clear on that. But the individuals that we're just now introducing ourselves to, that they're unidentified for a reason. We just don't know what that reason is. And we don't fully, I don't think we do. Churches may say, well, God told me to tell you, and that's the church you need to run from. Again, this is Donna. If you're in a church and God told me to come here today and tell you, there's one thing that I know fully that I believe in the Bible, and that's that he's a personal God. He's a personal God with a full collective view. And you're part of that somehow, some way. And so that's where I fit in as far as the conversation. But as far as, someone telling you, if you allow someone to tell you what God is to you, they have just become your God. It is what it is. But tonight, I can drift off in that subject, so don't let me go there. But tonight, what I'm talking about is something that I do on Thursdays called Hidden in Dark Corners. And again, Hidden in Dark Corners started off as my own personal journal, in addition to some therapeutic writing and information and sessions about what's happening with the path that I was taking. At the same time, I was dealing with the loss of family members and death in the family. A lot of stuff. I was dealing with quite a bit. And so I come across, guys, I'm working on all of this. I apologize for the vision and I apologize for the sound right now, but it will get better. Just rock with me for a little bit. And so Hidden in Dark Corners became something that I didn't ask for. Let me just start there. It wasn't a place where I thought I would be. I wasn't really understanding what was happening in my life. And again, I'm not going to go through, if you want to hear about how I became a targeted individual. I'm still working on that piece of information, but what happened to me to this point, you'll find that in Hidden in Dark Corners. Some of the videos are here on YouTube. You can just click on them and listen to them. Um, why? I'm still working on that part of it, and there are a lot of individuals out there that have their own view. I just did a TikTok, Crown Knowledge Radio, um, and my very first TikTok, and kind of gave a shout out to some of the individuals who helped me. Now, this is the weird thing that's going to happen, and I think I have no cut cards, and maybe even Neff, and definitely Healing to Express LLC. They're going to understand this, that when you're targeted and people are targeting you, micro targeting, which is, I think, what's happening to me. I am being micro targeted, which means they are throwing the kitchen sink at me. My devices are hacked. My home is bugged. Um, I have weapons used on me on a regular. I'm definitely being stalked, followed everywhere I go. Um, my my vehicle is being tampered with, and if I just happen to get out of my vehicle and I'm by myself, my vehicle's being vandalized. So and I've heard everything from reported to the police. This is Durdana Rafia, Crown Knowledge Radio. I've been to the police, honey. I've been to the police, and as soon as they arrived, I knew the game right away, and I was like, yeah, this wasn't a good idea. Um, then a lot of people are saying, we'll report it to the FBI. Again, Durdana, I called the FBI. Who calls the FBI on themselves? So and you'll hear that in a different show. I'm not going to go over that. Um, I've had every suggestion and every option open to me. Hire a private detective. First of all, do y'all know how much private detectives are? And second of all, if they can get the police to go along with this, what do you think they're going to do to a private detective? That's just weird. But yeah. Anyway, I digress. So, what do you do? Well, you can start by telling your story. You can start by telling exactly what's happening to you. I have found a few sites that are out there. I don't know how dependable they are because there's a lot of disinformation being released as far as this particular. I don't even know if I want to call it an organization, but according to what my research has found, it is an organization. This is organized stalking. It's it's an organized stalking situation where individuals actually sat somewhere in a room and decided that this was something they were going to initiate. And it's funny that I use those words because I was thinking to myself today, how do you get initiated into being a person that comes after someone for whatever the reason is? And again, if you listen to the TikTok I did today, I'm asking the question like, is there a crime involved to get this started? Like, somebody feels like you committed a crime that you got away with? That's what I didn't say over there, because I could see that. I could see, or somebody feels like, or again, a lot of the spiritual sisters that I listen to say this is just somebody they think you want to get your lick back, and you didn't. The court didn't do it the way you wanted to do it, and the justice system didn't hand it down the way I'm going to hand down suggestions, or the decision that was made for so and so, such and such, or whatever happened at the, or it didn't end the way I wanted it to end. So this is what I'm going to do. Basically, that's it. But here's the seriousness of it. You are playing God in individuals' lives that God sees fit to bless for a particular person, even you. Not only are you trying to block someone's blessing, but you're blocking your own blessings while you're trying to block somebody else's blessings. I guarantee you that. And you're blocking your own more so than you are the person that you're targeting, because you're just ignoring your life completely and you're solely focused on someone who doesn't even know you. I bet you 99% of the time there's that 1% chance that it's a family member. That's what I heard. That's what I'm hearing. That's what I'm finding for a lot of individuals. It's family, or people that you know as family, or people that you call family, or you consider them family. That's weird, but it happens, and I get it. Um, and so then you have to ask yourself why. I've had a couple of individuals that I did speak to, or chat with, or email personally, and they said, "Look, I've done some stuff in my life that I'm ashamed of." I've heard that quite a bit. And I can say that too. I'm not exempt from that. I've done some things in my life that I wish I'd never done. I've met some people and folks that I wish I'd never met. But one thing I know for sure, that I have never committed a crime. That's just not in my spirit. I've done some stuff that might have been criminal, but I've never committed an actual crime that I know that if I got caught, I would go to jail. That's weird. Yeah, no, that's not my lane. I'm not saying I'm perfect. I think I've maybe had a speeding ticket. Yeah. Yeah. I think I've had a speeding ticket or two. Um, in my umpteen years that I've been alive, I think that's pretty good. A lot of people can't say that. And then there's a lot of people who said I could up until 6 years ago, 7 years ago, say I'd never been in a wreck. I'd never been in a wreck. But oddly, I got into a very bad crash. I was in a different state, and I did not know that it was part of the individuals who were gang stalking me. At that particular time, I didn't know. And then again, watching God move what I know to be God, the God that I serve, as I pull up my unk, that's got, yeah, that's got a whole lot to do with nothing y'all thinking. So I promise you it don't. Um, but to see spirit move in a way that there's no way I could have accredited to anything else but spirit. If you want to call it the Most High God, if you want to call it divine spirit, if you want to call it divine intervention, I don't care what you call it. It is something more intelligent and bigger than you that moves through your life. And I saw it up close and personal, and I heard it. It's kind of, it felt like a gift. It really did. I've been to church a lot, and I've heard a lot of people talk. I'm not gonna give y'all no tears on my lives. I'm just not. I've heard a lot of people talk about watching God move in their life, and I never thought it would be my lane. I mean, you listen to it. I grew up in the church. My mother goes to church. I have sisters and brothers that go to church. I have relatives that are ministers and pastors. And sometimes you go to church and you do what they call going through the motions, right? You go through the motions. You go through, benediction, how to take communion, what the ushers do. I've ushered, I've sang in the choir. I've done all of that. I have been right hand to a first lady of a church. I've been assistants to very well-known, famous female pastors. I'm not going to shout them out here, but um And when they tell you, you'll know, you just don't get, I don't understand. I'm one of those type of people, you have to understand the family that I grew up in and how I was raised and how my mama moved and, arguing with my sisters and brothers. So you just think this is not my lane. This ain't never going to be my lane. Like, I'm going to be one of those people who will go to work, have a nice job, get a decent salary, live my life, maybe meet a dude, not meet a dude. I don't know. I don't know what my future holds, but I'm just thinking this is how I'm going to go down my life. But when you really see God show up, it's surprising. That's why in the beginning of this live, I told you it's a personal relationship because God spoke to me in a way that there was no mistaking. There's no way I could have mistaken it for anything else. Because anything else would have led me down a path of death. But God led me down the path of life for some strange reason. It is surprising how you find out. Nobody can explain that to you. You have to first of all be open to hearing your higher self, your spirit guide, your most high creator, your higher power. You got to be open to hearing it first. Now, if God ain't your lane, that voice is telling you to do what you're doing to hurt somebody. I got news for you. It ain't God. It's not. Because God never once told me to hurt anybody. Not ever. Not never. Even when I wanted to do it. Y'all, I've been divorced before. That's what I'm talking about. Not that I wanted to be a pew pew or anything like that. I didn't want to do that. But even when you have hate and envy and evil and rage and jealousy in your heart, but God knows for whatever reason that's not your lane. It's a podcast out there now that I'm kind of warming up to because I've heard some really interesting stories. And one of the name of the podcast, let me shout the brother out. He don't even, I'm sure he don't even know I watch the podcast, but it's called Can We Talk? It's either Can We Talk or Let's Talk. But it's I think it's a religious based show, but it's people that have been through some of the most horrific, and I'm not even doing it justice. They have been through situations that you could only imagine in a movie. Like imagine your worst horror flick, and these men and women have been through it. And then they heard the voice of what they say is God, kind of guiding them in a different way, down a different path. And long story short, if it had not been for them being open to hearing what the Most High had to say, that path of life could have easily been a path of death. I get it. And again, it's one of those situations where you wish people could just sit in your skin and look through your eyeballs and walk in your feet and feel your heartbeat and your consciousness for just a split second to say, you know what, yeah, I get it. When I tell you, not saying that, trying to be a better person wasn't my path, but being a staunch Christian or Muslim or Seventh Day Adventist or Jehovah's Witness, whatever Judaism, Catholic, whatever. Being a hardcore anything in religion was not my path. I knew that, but I knew that there was something more in me. But I couldn't and I'm still working that out with the God in me. And I'm having a hard time getting this out because I can't. The point I'm getting to is that you can't give somebody else your experience. You can't. I don't care how hard you try. I don't care how well your preacher preach. I don't care if you got the best pastor in the land. I don't care if Sister So and so is so prophetic that she floats on air when she begins to channel. I don't care. What I'm telling you is nobody can give you their experience. It's not possible. Now, can you be empathetic to their experience? Absolutely. Can you be sympathetic to the experience? Sure. Oh, baby, I'm so sorry. And most Christians, let's just say, I'm not picking on Christians, but I'm just saying this, and baby, let me pray for you. And even that, somehow, you have to be open, but you also have to be careful. That's a whole nother show. I'm not going to go down that road, but be careful who you allow pray for you. Because sometimes it's just better to pray for yourself. And if you don't know how to pray, cry. And if you don't know how to cry, scream. Guess what? Because the Most High understands that's his language. That's the best language in the world. Cry. Cry just cry. Get in your house, in your bathtub, in your shower. You don't even have to be in the bathtub shower. The old folks say, get in the closet if that's what you need to do. If it's too many people in your house, get in the car. Drive around the corner to the park. Make sure the popo don't arrest you, but cry, scream. And if you know how to cuss, cuss. Do that. Oh no, you don't cuss God. Why not? Peter did. And if you really reading your Bible, Peter cussed all the time, from what I understand. that was the version I got. But yeah, I had to read it for myself. I was like, what? We cussing in the Bible? Is that what we're doing? All right, Peter. Yeah, that would be my lane. Yeah, someday, every now and then, y'all go hear me rip one out. If you go over and listen to my archives on Blog Talk, you're going to hear a lot of that. Don't let this fool you. I'm somebody's auntie, but yeah, don't. Yeah. But I really like to laugh and be happy now because that's where we are spiritually. Because it'll be easy to cry, ball up in a circle, drink, do drugs, throw my body out there. It would be that's easy. But to sit still and I'm not saying be perfect and do nothing, but to sit still and to really hear the voice of the Most High, not so easy. It ain't as easy as you think. Sometimes you can try to look in the mirror and do it. I mean literally, like look yourself in the face in the mirror and try to talk to God. Ooh, because a lot of people might not see God looking back at them. I'm gonna leave that there. I'm gonna leave that right there. But back to what I was saying, because a lot of these situations with this targeting and gang stalking forces you in a position where you have to hear God for whatever reason. And and I'm saying that because God's going to have a specific message, specific information, specific instructions. Um, because from what I'm hearing, uh, God is in control of this, whatever this is. And so, just a little bit of history, you can go back as far as something called the Havana Syndrome. And again, in one of the Hidden and Dark Corner shows that I've done um, in the recent past, I talk about the Havana Syndrome. You can look it up. I can't make this up. It started off with a woman who was certain that she was being targeted, but she couldn't put her finger on it. She couldn't figure out why, so on and so forth. Fast forward years later, after she was telling her, people she worked with and some other people, and she said targeting got worse. And sooner or later, someone had the good sense to research what she was saying and found out she was telling the truth. And not only was she telling the truth, she ended up on 60 Minutes. I'm dating myself, but y'all know what 60 Minutes is. It is a mainstream news show that we all used to watch back in the day. I think it's still on. Somebody chat me up in the chat if it's still on. Is 60 Minutes still on? But yeah, and she ended up on a national television program talking about being targeted. Now, she was military connected. And then fast forward, seeing information here and there, but not a whole lot. And then fast forward 2023, I start seeing these targeted situations show up on mainstream news. People were calling it something else, but it was clearly targeting, clearly gang stalking. I've seen videos of people being followed around in remote areas. If they go to the park, they don't want to go jog because they're positive somebody is following them. They're fearful for their children. That's one thing that I'm glad that I don't have children, because one lady that ended up on the news, again, this was mainstream news. If y'all know what mainstream news, ABC, NBC, CBS, whatever, um, and she said she was in the house with her child and she could hear something. I forgot how she put it. She put a recording in the house and she could hear someone in her home. She knew that there were cameras in her house. And sure enough, she got proof that there was someone in her house when her son would leave the house. She was sure that someone was outside her house when she and her son were in the house. And again, I know that there's someone outside my house because they let me know it every day. There's a noise campaign. They let me know every day. Yes, we're out here. Right now, they're targeting my body with a direct energy weapon. They do it all day, every day. They let me know, yes, we're out here. The question is why? Again, one of the sisters said, this is about money. They find less than, low life, down on their luck, ain't got nothing to lose individuals, and they give them some money and say, hey, this is what we want you to do. And that's what they do. They get paid to do this for some, in some cases. In some cases, again, she says family members that want to try to cash in on something that's connected to you. It could be. And again, if you go back and listen to my shows, I give my account of how I was being targeted. Don't even know how I even walked down that lane. Could I have said something to piss somebody off? Probably. Probably. Was it something that I said maybe out in the open? No, because I believe I was being recorded anyway because of some things that were happening in the house that I was staying with at the time. So, could they have been recording something that I said and they didn't like it? Absolutely. They probably did. So, is that a situation that calls for a person's life to be uprooted? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. You upset? Yes. Do we might have words? Yeah, probably. Because if somebody upset me that bad and I knew their phone number or I had their email, that would have took 5-10 minutes. Let me tell you one thing, and let me give you a piece of my mind, because you said this, and let me tell you what I think about you. And I hope you right, da da da, yeah, all of that, and yeah, but some people cannot. That's not enough. For some people, letting go and letting God is not enough. Allowing God to do God's work in God's time is not enough. I've never been in that lane, because I'm going to tell you right now, anybody that's ever done anything to me unwarranted, meaning they did something to me for nothing. Now, are there those situations where, I know, okay, me and so and so had words, I get it. But people you've never had words with, or people that you were trying to show love to, and for whatever reason, their MK Ultra went off. Oh shoot, I did say that out loud. I'm sorry, YouTube. Their, their Agent Orange started acting up. I really dated myself. If you haven't seen the movie Agent Orange, Sergeant Payne, look it up. Um, that's an oldie but goodie. But yeah, for some reason their Agent Orange starts acting up, and they just go in a whole direction where enough is not enough, and and too much is not even filling up the cup. So that's a bad place to be, to allow somebody to live rent free in your head for any period of time. With I had a conversation with a relative, and they said, sometimes people just can't let go of what you've done. I was like, yeah, that's called envy. It's called anger, but it's also called hurt. So you have to allow. So what do? You just gonna keep on hurting because you're really hurting yourself. And I forgot to tell him that, but you're really hurting yourself. So you go, and I get what you're saying. Yeah, that's true. And you're never gonna forget what somebody did. So it's just a matter of whether or not you're gonna forgive them. Because you're never gonna forget. And that part was right. He was right about that. You're never gonna forget. You would have to be brain damaged to forget what somebody did to you. But can you forgive? You could. Can you let it go? Yeah. So you're stuck between the place of allowing yourself to fester in something. Again, I forgot who, I used to have that saying somewhere, but it's like drinking poison and expecting for the other person to die. You're drinking the poison, but you expect the person that you're mad at to die. Where are we doing this at? Because that's basically what envy is: rageful envy. Like I am beyond consoling, mad AF. Like yeah, that's poison to your body. That's poison to your mind. That's poison to your heart and your soul. It's poison to your life. And guess what? It's going to be poison to the loved ones in your life as well, if you do that. Now, in this particular case, this person wanted me to be there based on how they felt about me. They wanted my life to be there. So they proceeded to infiltrate my family, tell lies, smear my name, give false information about stuff that they're saying that I've done, who I am, what I did, what I said. And the weird part is nobody in my family asked for a receipt. Nobody. They just went with it. Oh my God, family member is crazy. It is something wrong with her. Just like that. That's weird. It's hurtful. Don't worry about it. I've cried my tears over that because I can't believe there is nobody on the planet that can walk up to me and say anything about my family without giving me a receipt. You just can't do it. It's not going to happen. But unfortunately, my family does not feel the same about me. That's weird. Ain't that a bitch? They do not. And I was yesterday years old when I found that, when I finally realized I was the year 2021, 2022 when I found that out. Like, wow, my, the family that you thought at the very least they knew, family member got some sense. I know that. I know that I've never seen family member do XYZ. I've never seen family member act that way. I've never seen family member da 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 da. I've never known them to do that. I don't have any receipts on that. But a stranger or half a stranger can come up to you and say something, and you just run with it. Oh, really? Wow, that's fucked up. I'm sorry. Who told you? What happened now? What? Uh, yeah, no, that's not my lane. Anybody that knows me knows that there's just certain things that they've never seen me do. I had an old school friend. that a relative told me, um, asked about me, ran into me. I mean, stuff like that happens in your hometown. And she said, yeah, I remember her. I don't remember her having a lot of female friends. I was like, clearly this person knows me. clearly, clearly this person knows me. I've never known Dee to really rock with a lot of people. She didn't say it like this. Like, I've really never known her to be in a lot of people's face. Like she really stayed to herself. Clearly, this person knows me. Clearly, this person knows who the hell I am. They know me. I didn't know the girl, but she said, yeah. She said, no, I don't think we were friends. She said, we had a project that we worked on or something in junior high, or I don't know. And the person that bought me, and she bought me the person's picture, and I'm like, I don't know this girl. Yeah, if she walked up to me in a Walmart, I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know who she was. And she showed me the girl's picture. I don't know her. She told me her name. Mm-mm. She said, no, we weren't friends, but she said, I just remember her being quiet. She was nice. She was smart, and she just really didn't bother a whole lot of people. That was my lane. Clearly, this girl, I did play two sports my whole life. One I flunked out of because I couldn't do a layup. We'll laugh about that later. My nephew already laughed at me because he's an excellent basketball player. And the other one I was great at, which was tennis. I can't make this shit up. Look it up. I can't make it up. So she said, yeah, I remember her. She used to play tennis and da 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 da. And I'm like, yep, that was me. I was like, yeah, I don't know this girl. I've never seen her before in my life. She showed me her picture. I was like, yeah, I don't know her. She's like, no. She said, I just remember she was real smart. She was cute, but she wasn't conceited. The guys liked her, but that wasn't my lane. I wasn't that girl. And now all of a sudden I get 180 and I'm a hoe. Like, what the fuck? I wait. Oh my God, I'm going to cry. I wait until I get 1,000 years old and now I'm a hoe? Really? Wow. Um, yeah, boo boo. But do you? Uh, wow. It's funny how it all go down. Just, I don't know. And it's kind of sort of family that, you can walk up to them and say, hey, your family member so and so, such and such and so and so, and this is what I want you to do. I break you off a little bit of money and go in here and tell her family she this and she that, and they did it. And I'm like, man, out of out of all the heathens in my family, you picked me. Really? Wow. Okay. All right. So I was like, okay, God, this is the lane we going down. We getting ready to go down this lane. Like, what am I? Okay, what do you want me to do? Like, because one thing I'm not gonna do is go around putting out fires I didn't start. That's what I'm not gonna do. And the second thing I'm not gonna let you do is if I know you told a lie and you smiling in my face, what we not gonna do in 2025 is play in D's face. That's what you're not gonna do. You can do anything else you want to do, but you ain't gonna come in my face and play and do it. That's what you're not gonna do. We can do anything else. You want to see my face? I'm on YouTube, Crown Knowledge Radio, Dordana. I'm on Facebook. I am on Instagram somewhere soon, and now I'm on TikTok. God dog it. So you want to play in my face? Play in my face over there. But other than that, because I really don't care about the chats and the comments and the likes and subscribes. I mean, like and subscribe if this is your flow. If this is your thing and you want to have some fun, but you really want to get into alternative information and knowledge about whatever the hell is happening on this planet right now, I sit in the house all day long and go, dear God, it's me, D. You remember me? Yeah, just because I don't know what's going on. I really don't. But between me and you and the goalpost, I mean, let's try to figure it out. Let's talk about it. Let's have the conversation. We can have serious conversation. We can have in-depth conversations. We can do forums. I mean, I want to do it all. I want to get with some of those people that I mentioned earlier in this show and in the TikTok that I did earlier today. And I want to collaborate with some of those people. I think they're brilliant women. I think they have brilliant ideas. Myself, the guy Rashad, DJ Dre, the brother Fred, Crown Knowledge Radio. If you want to listen to my Chop It Up, Chew It, and Spit It Out, they're in there. So they can introduce themselves to you and you can get to know who they are as well. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to um, a different 2025. Right now, it's too soon to tell. We can't tell the future. There's no concept of time right now. I'm missing days. I'm waking up on Wednesday thinking it's Friday. It feels so good. It really does. It feels wonderful. Having a 25-year of corporate experience and having to work in the rat race for 30 years and work for Fortune 500 companies and have to hit a time clock and waking up at the crack of dawn is dark when I go to work and dark when I come home. And, I'm so glad to not have to do that anymore, to be out of that particular type of energy. And you can't tell me that God doesn't have divine timing in your life if that's the gift that He's trying to give you, because He will arrange things in your life in a way to make it so that you can hear only God's word. That's the train in the back, actually giving me confirmation. So God will put you in a place where you can only hear God's voice. You can only hear the divine. You can only hear Spirit talking to you. It's funny how it all goes down. It really is. It's kind of surreal. It's kind of otherworldly. I don't know. That's the best word I've had so far. But you can't put a word to it. You can't put a there's no adjective to describe. There's no I can't sit here and give you a definitive language or a word that could say this is what it sounds like when God truly saves you from something that you don't deserve. From a that was deep. So what do you mean, Dordana? Something good that you don't deserve or something bad that you don't deserve? Probably both. Because everything that looks good to you, y'all know the rest of that, right? So sometimes God will allow you to have that good thing just to show you it ain't good for you. I've been in that lane too, girl. Yep, I've been in that lane too, where I felt like, yeah, I want it. Okay, God, yeah, I really want it. I want it, God. Let me have it. And I had it, and I was like, oh, God, I hate I ever even asked you for it. I just, why? To make you grow up, to make you grow up so you can understand what good really is when you've had something so bad, when you can understand what life really feels like when you were living so dead, when you can feel what abundance really feels like when you were living in lack. And I'm not talking about money. And even that, people say, oh, no, people say pray. And, no, I'm not talking about, I'm sorry, religious, I'm not trying to piss on anybody's church, but I'm not talking about that kind of prosperity. I'm talking about prosperity of the heart, because once you get it all in here, all of this will come. But you got to get it all in here first. Because if you don't think that it's all in here, you'll get it, but then it'll go. And then you might not get it when you want it. And then it might show up, but then somebody will take it from you. And then you might get a whole lot of it, but then you won't know what to do with it. So, I mean, there's a whole lot of things that come with like cash, that little mean green piece of paper that makes people absolutely lose their mother freaking mind, just to say the least. I'm being so good over here on YouTube. I can't wait for y'all to hear my videos over there that I used to do on Blog Talk. Yeah, they're not this nice, but they do make the same point, and they do give the same in-depth information. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to collaborating with my partner, the guy Rashad. and some new individuals. Ladies, look me up. Goddess Neff, Katoya J. I have no cut cards. The Healing to Express LLC. NFL Nita. I know I'm missing somebody. Mystic Nine. Oh my goodness, I don't know what the guy's name is. I was listening to earlier, but TI 999, Targeted Individual 999. Hit me up. We definitely want to collaborate to speak to individuals like ourselves who are going through this particular situation that makes no sense to nobody. Nobody can really understand why something like would even be necessary. Like I said, and I get it. I get it. Some people are military connected and they have their own military family, the way they operate and do things, and the way they lay down punishment, and the way they lay down justice, and the way they target people, and things get this way. I've heard of Watergate. I've heard of, a lot of other government things that go down, and I get it. I do understand that. But what happens to the people who are not in that lane? The people who are simply minding their own business, sort of, kind of. Because, like I said, I didn't know I was being recorded. Should I have not been saying what I was saying? Had I known I was being recorded, I probably wouldn't. Come on, y'all, let's keep it a buck and a dime. Because I'm not out to hurt anyone. I wasn't talking about committing a crime, if anybody's curious. That's not what I was talking about. I was simply expressing my feelings about family. That's pretty much all I was doing. I don't think that's a cause for someone to, or I was expressing my opinion about a work situation. I don't think that calls for your whole life to be uprooted. I don't. Um, so once again, I really wanted to get more into this. Hidden in Dark Corners every Thursday. It's usually going to be at, I try to get it in before 11 p.m. Because it's late night, and, I'm still getting used to all of the ins and outs of social media platforms and where I want Crown Knowledge Radio to be and to grow. I am Dordana Raffia, and I just want to say thank you guys. Happy New Year. I know it's bittersweet for a lot of us, even the people who feel they're doing justice for someone. Um, this is going to be a different kind of year. So, and to my new Crown family over here on YouTube and TikTok and Instagram, I look forward to rocking with you guys uh, through this year. It's a lot going on the ground, in the water, and in the air. What we gonna do? Thank you so much. And don't forget to leave comments, like, share, and subscribe. And check out Crown Knowledge everywhere. Crown Knowledge Radio. That's Crown with a K, by the way. And if you guys want to reach out to me for any types of collaborations, the people that I mentioned in the show, I am at crowngoddess@gmail. And that's Crown with a K. So all of this stuff will get up, donates, likes, shares, and subscribes, and all that stuff, and my comments and everything, and the descriptions. It's all coming. I have work to do, and just look for me, and we're gonna all help each other. I think this thing needs support. I think it needs more light, and I think it needs to be shared amongst those people who take it seriously, to find out um, why, and if anything could be done, what? Because that's what I hear a lot of out there as well. So we'll talk about it. We'll get into it. Love you guys. Once again, like, share, subscribe. Thank you for joining me at Crown Knowledge Radio. Good night.